Hello everyone, this is the third video of carbon cycling, and in this video we are going to talk about methanogens and methane and other parts related to carbon cycling. So we start with methanogens. What are methanogens? Methanogens are archaeans. Archaeans are one of the domains of that are kind of microorganisms that they can produce methane. You know that methane is CH4 as a metabolic byproduct in anoxic conditions. Anoxic conditions means the condition without oxygen in a low concentration or without the presence of the oxygen. And these methanogens can be found in the variety of anoxic environments such as wetlands, digestive tracts of the animals, you have heard this before, marine and freshwater sediments, and landfill sites. Another slide related to methane formation, which is produced by methanogenic archaeans. And again, you will see that they can be found in swamps, lake beds, the guts of ruminants, termites, and landfills. Once they are formed, methane may either diffuse into the atmosphere or accumulate in the ground. And the gut prokaryote in ruminants and other herbivores produce vast amount of methane, which is released into the atmosphere. Alright, so we have heard about this joke about cows and methane. Don't use a lighter because it's burst and explodes, right? Just joking. Oops. Oh, I just mentioned this part. You see a fart? Oh, yeah. So the farts for cows are methane, and they do a lot of farting, so they create a lot of methane to the atmosphere, and also by burping. Oops, I don't like this. Burping customs that some people are doing it very easily and very conveniently, which I don't and we don't. Anyway, this is the ecology of methane production, and there are methane bacteria inside the stomach and digestive tracts, and they are eating grass, and then you will see what happens. The types of organic matter that can be used for methane production include manure or animal dung used for fertilizing land from farm animals and cellulose from plants. Alright, these are converted successively by several groups of prokaryotes as shown below. The process includes organic matter firstly changed to organic acids, okay, and alcohol by a group of bacteria. So first of all, organic acids and alcohol, and then other bacteria can convert these organic acids and alcohol into acetate. So the next would be acetate. So if you want to number organic acids and alcohol, and then they will be converted into acetate. Carbon dioxide, right, and hydrogen. So acetate, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen, right? And finally, methanogenic archaea, that we were talking about them, can produce methane either through the reaction of carbon dioxide and hydrogen, which is this reaction, or the second reaction by breakdown of the acetate. Right? So the first reaction would be based on the combination of carbon dioxide with hydrogen atoms to make methane, and the second one by breaking down the acetate into methane and carbon dioxide. So these are the chemical reactions which is happening and ends up with the production of methane in two ways. What happens to the methane? Methane will be released, right? And then after release, this is happening for methane. Methane is oxidized in the upper layers of atmosphere through the interaction of methane with hydroxyl radicals, which are highly reactive. Methane with hydroxyl radicals. The reaction produces carbon dioxide and water. So you see, first of all, by carbon dioxide, by the usage of the carbon dioxide, we will have the methane, and then that would be the reverse, which means that the carbon dioxide, by the hydroxyl radicals, we will get carbon dioxide and water in the upper layers. The complete oxidation of methane to carbon dioxide and water involves several steps and includes several intermediate compounds. So you just need to know the general idea, not the details. Alright, measurements indicate that the levels of atmospheric methane are increasing. In this graph, it is estimated that on average methane persists in the atmosphere for 8.4 years. Methane can persist in the atmosphere for more than 8 years. And you can see that the amount of the methane has been increased since 1986-7 plus, and then the level of the methane has been increasingly happening until the date of this graph, which has been taken from this source. Methane released into the atmosphere can be removed by a number of mechanisms. The most important process of methane removal is oxidation by hydroxyl radical that I just mentioned in the previous slide. This is the result: hydroxyl radical plus methane, carbon dioxide, and water. Here is the estimation of carbon fluxes due to processes in the carbon cycle. We have already talked about this slide before in one of the previous videos. I just read the explanation over here that it is not possible to measure the size of carbon sinks and the fluxes between them. Estimates are based on many different measurements and are often published with large uncertainties as a result. What you need to know is just an estimation of how much gigatons carbon per year we will have in the fossil fuels, around 10,000, and in the sediment 6,000, deep ocean 37,000, and also the 4 gigatons of carbon dioxide net release every year as an increased level due to more fossil fuels for combustion than the photosynthesis, which is fixing the carbon dioxide. So these are the things that you need to know. But what is the evidence for increasing levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? Well, we refer to some of the investigations and researches done before. And over the 40 years ago, Charles Keeling measured atmospheric CO2 from his observatory in Mauna Loa in Hawaii, which is called Keeling curve, has become an icon of climate science. And here is the Keeling curve, and you will see that since 1960, around 1960, the level of the carbon dioxide has been linearly, or has been not very complete linear, but has been increased, so like this. Many field stations globally use the same standardized method. All the stations show a clear upward trend with annual cycle. There is also an annual cycle which is showing, I think there was a question related to this process, what is happening and why we have the decreased level of the carbon dioxide during the summer, and that's because of the high amount of the photosynthesis during that time at that area. So they are fixing the carbon dioxide more, so the level of the carbon dioxide goes down. Historical data takes more effort to collect and is more valuable in the reliability of the results produced. I-scores are a good source of carbon dioxide data. These are the I-scores, where researchers can analyze the carbon dioxide concentration of air bubbles trapped in the ice and estimate the year based on the depth of the core, right? There will be a video, I will put it later, so you will see how this type of I-scores might be used for the estimation. Here is another activity that you need to know. Analysis of data from air monitoring stations to explain annual fluctuations. Plot annual fluctuations and long-term trends for one of these sites. Alright, pause the video and try to find this address in this on the map. Alright, you got it correct. You can see that this is 32 degrees north. And here we go. This is the 32, something like this. So you go with 32 degrees of north and 117 degrees of west. So 117 degrees of west, 2 degrees, something like here. Yeah, that's it. And the other one is Mauna Loa in Hawaii, which is 19 degrees north. North 19. Should be something over here as 19, because if this is the between here and here is every 30, so that would be 90, something like here, and if you make it divide by 3, so 90 would be somewhere here, and then 155 west, 155 west, so that would be here. So this is the way you find out the place over the map. What would be your task to for this activity? Data analysis task, atmospheric CO2 measurements. There is a website, the Carbon Dioxide Information Analysis Center, CDIAC, has a huge database of information regarding carbon dioxide measurements, right? In this task, you have to use the set of the data in the field observatories from this link. I'm going to show you this link after closing this slide. So you will visit the web page and make notes on the station name, coordinates, period of record, and situation. And you can use the spreadsheet, and you can use the spreadsheet for opening the digital data page, select the data, paste into Excel file, and blah blah. So you can do whatever you want according to this data. Look at the graphics for the overall trends. What trends can you see using your own graph? Explain the annual cycle in the data. This is Carbon Dioxide Information Analysis Center, or CDIAC. As I am scrolling down, you will see that a lot of information, atmospheric CO2 records from sites in the SIO air sampling network, and this is an institution, and these are the monitoring sites, and these are a lot of information, and the places, and also the records of the carbon dioxide concentration. Because Mauna Loa from Hawaii, we already talked about that. Let's click on this. Here is the information related to Mauna Loa. The period of record has been from 1958 to 2008. These are the methods and information. It's kind of a lot of things and references, and as you can see, Keating is one of the main authors related to this article and this information. So if you want to see the graphics, then you click on the graphics. This is how is the graphic. and showing the increased level of the carbon dioxide based on the ppm or part per million volume, and then from 1958 to 2008, which is showing the level of the increased level of the carbon dioxide. You can check the others as well, and here is the spreadsheet. You can copy and paste all any types of the information, and if you want to do that using your own Excel sheet by making, for example, this data and create your own graph, you can do that. And this is the activity that has been mentioned actually in this slide. So you open the link and you play with this information. You try to copy and paste these carbon dioxide concentrations, and you create your own graph from each year that is necessary for you, or you want to check how is the information. All right, going back to this slide, and these are the information taken from that website, analyzing atmospheric carbon dioxide data, and you will see that this fluctuation within each year, 2003, 4, and until 2008. And now you know that what is the reason for going down the level of the carbon dioxide within each year, because of the high photosynthetic plants during the summer. There is an increase in atmospheric CO2 at Mauna Loa year on year, as you can see, and the annual fluctuation is exactly what I explained. Annual through carbon dioxide correspond with northern hemisphere summers, and in this area, which has a greatest land mass, and at this time of the year, more trees and other plants in leaf, these increased amount of foliage leads to increased photosynthesis, and therefore a greater sink of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and its annual peaks correspond with winters, which shows the higher level of carbon dioxide during the winter. And there is another link for showing or playing with the information. If you are interested, you can go and search for it. Use this database to search for ice core data. You can use this information. You can use this link to find out the data. And there is a temperature carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere over the past 400,000 years. You can get this information and analyze using this website and see how they are doing the concentration. They are doing the measurement of the carbon dioxide inside the core, ice cores, which is really nice and very interesting. I'm going to add a video at the end, not to this video, a separate video, so you will see how it works. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and this is the end of Unit 4, Section 3 related to carbon cycling. Oh, by the way, I would like to add Cognity as another resource that I have used for preparing this slide. Thank you.